Good evening. I want to welcome everybody to tuning in. I'm here with head coach of the Tri-High Titans, Coach Tyler Stotler. I want to welcome you in tonight.
Thanks for having me.
First, we'll start with 14-7 on the year. You started 1-3, went on eight in a row, and a Henry County championship, first in school history. What are your thoughts on kind of how the year has gone so far?
Well, I think as a program, as a staff, I think we're pretty happy with where we're at right now. There was a lot of unknowns going into the year, losing 5 or 6 of our top 8 from last year. We started 2 freshmen the majority of the year, and it was one of them things where we looked at the start of the year that we got to get better every day. We're going to have to reinvent ourselves a little bit from some philosophies due to personnel, and I think the kids have really done a great job of just buying in every day, learning how to be a varsity basketball player, not just in a game, but the grind throughout the season, practicing. Most of these kids' seasons were over about 3 weeks ago from middle school. So they've done a great job of hitting reset this time of year, and I like where we're at right now.
Yeah, and we'll lead straight into for next week, for sectionals. You drew Randolph Southern. You just played them last week, and you won by 13. Going into that for the first round, anything different from playing them last week to going into it now?
Well, I think the biggest thing is the mindset. The kids and most people here probably were pretty well aware I was not real pleased with our effort, enthusiasm, energy, and attention to detail, especially from an effort and defensive side of the ball. Sectional time is about not who necessarily is the best team. It's usually the team that's ready to play and more mentally tough. Regardless, unless you get the bye, you got to win 3 straight, and it's typically going to be 3 good teams. So it's more about our approach than I think a philosophy, schematic standpoint, and just being the best version of ourselves.
That's very understandable. And, with the leader of this year's team and the lone senior, and for senior night tonight with Josiah Cox, last year he averaged 13 points a game, and this year he's taking a big step to 21 points a game. What have you kind of seen from his jump from last year to this year and making that improvement?
Well, last year Josiah, even when the game was on the line, and I know he was a junior, but he was the guy we were looking for. He's always been a shot maker. He's incredibly skilled. The jump comes from more so, I think, him having to take the reins a little bit more. Last year we had a little bit different options and look because of our size, and we have kind of revamped things to a more guard-oriented schemes, which plays right into his wheelhouse. And over the season, we've had guys that shown they can really score the ball and make shots, which has opened him up in a lot of ways to be the player he can be. And at the end of the day, Josiah Cox is probably going to be the best player on the floor just about every night he plays.
Yeah, that's very true. You've had multiple 20-point scorers on the year, and to be able to have that versatility and not just one guy being able to put up 20, but having multiple, I'm sure has really helped you throughout the year.
Yeah, it just opens up so much, and you can't totally key on Josiah, and that allows him to play a lot more free and us schematically to do some things that we really like to do.
Great to hear. And next, we'll kind of talk a little about you and your journey. You started 4 years at Daleville. Currently, your 3rd year at Tri, with a record of 41-22 overall. Your first year, you went 11-9, which was the first winning season at Tri-High since 2005, and the three straight winning seasons this year, including, will be the first time since it's being recorded on John Harrell's website since 1994.
Yeah, the 3 straight winning seasons, as far as I can go back, I think it's almost 38 years. And that's a tribute to the kids. Players win, coaches lose. And the kids have just really bought in since day one. I'm a Henry County guy, so it was very appealing to come back home where basketball means so much. I think we're the only county in the state that has basketballs on our city department vehicles. It's a big deal, and I've just been blessed to have some great kids. All these kids, I can't say enough. And I knew there was talent here. I knew there were tough kids, hard-nosed kids, and that would thrive into, I guess, my personality and how I want to go about things. And it's been a lot of fun, and I think our program's in a really good spot. We've got kids playing all the way down to second grade the last few years, so they're playing ball, and I think our young kids, one of my biggest jobs is not necessarily varsity high school. It's getting people excited about basketball and kids wanting to play ball. And as you look down here every night, there's several, younger guys, second, third, all the way up to eighth graders that are here, and they know the kids' names, and they're great role models of those kids.
Yeah, absolutely. I remember being a young kid here at Tri and looking up to those varsity players. And so, yeah, it's really just getting it going, not from the top, but all the way through. And I think you've done a really good job of that. Kind of finishing up here, would there be anybody you want to thank or shout out tonight?
Well, I mean, if anybody knows what it's like to be a head coach, you got to understand that there's usually a wife involved. And most of all of you around here know me. I'm a pretty high-strung guy during basketball season. It's something I've been that way my whole life. My mom used to always say, for as much as you love something, you're miserable a lot during the season. And it's my competitiveness, and I want these kids to experience great things. Some things I was fortunate enough to experience, and that without my wife, I mean, there's no way that most women or most spouses could deal with me through 7 months out of the year. And she's unbelievable. She's a coach's kid, so she gets it. Brian Peggs, I mean, he's a mentor to me and a very important person. Scott Widener, who, his last day was today. I've known Scott for a long time. Those guys were willing to believe in what my vision was for the program. And then Jeremy Duncan, also our superintendent. I've known him, I think, since I was 7 years old.
Oh, wow.
He was one of my coaches when I played. And it's really nice to have been able to have coaches that are administrators, because they get the tough days. They get the roller coaster that it can be emotionally. And just the support of the community has been unbelievable. Nick Saban says, if you want to make everybody happy, sell ice cream. But I truly believe that the amount of support that we have received, our staff, since I've been here, it's rare. It's really rare, and it's been a blessing, honestly. And I love being a Titan.
Well, that's very great to hear. It's not easy being a coach.
No.
But I'm very, very glad. Hopefully, they're glad they took a chance on you, and it's definitely worked out, I think. But I just want to thank you for coming on here, and I want to wish you good luck tonight and for the run at a sectional championship.
Well, we'll see what we can do. You guys are doing a fantastic job, and we really appreciate it.
Great having you.